I saw that like Rachel was getting some flack online for her hometown, and I was kind of confused.
I saw mixed. I saw some people giving Rachel flack, and then I saw other people being like, I'm confused where this flack is coming from. I think that when you have 4 great girls standing there and 4 great hometowns, people need to find something to pick apart and hate on, because it's like, oh my God, everything's been so great. We need to find something that's wrong here.
Yeah.
I think that what you can maybe say is that his connection with some girls is way stronger than his connection with others. In my opinion, his connection with Kelsey and his connection with Maria, even though she was sent home, is way stronger than his connection with Daisy or Rachel. I don't necessarily see it with Daisy or Rachel, especially Daisy, because I think the hype has been so on Daisy that I'm especially being like, I really don't see this.
Yeah.
So I think
it's kind of crazy if he just picks picks Daisy, huh?
It would be crazy because I feel
like Daisy's probably the front runner
right at this point. But and if he picks her, then I guess they clearly have something that I'm not picking up on. But I just don't really see it. I mean, it started off with Kelsey's hometown, which was very emotional because of her mom passing, and Joey brought that up to Kelsey, like, this must be emotional. We're going home and your mom's not here, and it was really sweet and it was really caring, and the way that Kelsey and her family talked about her mom was so beautiful, and they obviously had these emotional moments, but they also had these really sweet, lighthearted, joking moments as well.
Did they call her Birdie? Like, I feel like they were calling her a nickname.
I
think it was maybe Birdie.
I don't want to speak on it because I'm not
right.
Okay.
Which is adorable. Like,
So
I just think
cute.
like anytime your family members all have a nickname like that for you,
Yeah, it's so cute. And I thought it was really special, really emotional, and Joey had a fantastic conversation with Kelsey's dad, who has become the star of the show last night.
There's
always one family member that comes out of hometowns that is like the star, and Kelsey's dad was the star of the show last night. People want him to be the Golden Bachelor, campaigning all over the place.
I saw Emily Moynes post a story, Blake Moynes' mother, who is great. And she just posted our story last night watching the episode. Kelsey's dad, eye emoji, nuff said, heart emoji. Then she did tag Bachelor and she tagged Golden Bachelor. So, yes. And then I think Kelsey was also posting on her story about that too. It was funny. She posted a meme of Kelsey reading all those tweets about her dad. It's like that little boy's face drinking. It's like, oop.
She also
everybody's thirsting over Kelsey's dad.
She also made TikToks of them watching the thirst traps of her dad. She was like, I don't even have thirst traps. Like, why are there thirst traps on my father? And her dad's cracking up. So I thought all of that was really, really sweet. And it felt like Joey's conversation with Kelsey's dad, given the circumstances, of course, as well, was just a little bit different than his conversation with the rest of the dads and the parents. I felt like the rest of the conversations were pretty repetitive after that point.
Yeah, definitely. And because, Kelsey went first, so it really leaves an impact sometimes, like when you see that connection first. Daisy, also, great hometown. Daisy got to also hang out with all of her friends and Joey, which rarely happens. I don't recall any time there's been a group hang with friends during a hometown.
Right. Like, this isn't Love is Blind. I was confused by that.
Right. And a lot of people. It wasn't just two. It was
right. Which I guess was their
6 or 7 people.
But I think Daisy made it so clear that her family and friends' opinion matters.
Yeah.
And that she couldn't, which I was confused on how I felt about this. She was very adamant that she could not tell Joey she was falling in love with him or loved him until she saw him interact with her family, which, of course, family is so important, and seeing how your significant other acts with your family is very important. But I felt like that was the theme of her hometowns.
Definitely. Yeah, that's been how it's been going with her consistently of can she get there? Can she get there? Can she get there? And it felt like this was the moment where everyone was like, oh, it is working, and her family's so sweet and they like Joey and Joey's getting along with everybody. And Daisy did say she was falling for him at the end of the hometown, and just an adorable family. The Christmas tree farm and her parents are adorable. Grandparents are adorable. She's got a grandma named Gloria. I got a grandma named Gloria.
Yeah,
Gloria's
all
a great
sweet
grandma
grandmas
name.
are named Gloria.
And her mom was just so cute.
So cute. The family was adorable.
Oh my God, her mom and her dad was so cute. Like, they were cracking jokes. They were having fun. Truly, as far as hometowns go, across the board, it was like as wholesome as it could get. Like, everyone was more wholesome than the next. Then you got Rachel. She's got her little nephew running around. They're calling him Uncle Joey. Like, they're just, it just was so wholesome. They came to California and they had, they went through all like Rachel's family's traditions and talking about her heritage. And he wanted to be a part of all that. And it seemed like he did a great job. Now, of course, Rachel's parents seemed a little more hesitant, which is super fair, but they're also like, Rachel seems to have gone through some very intense breakup that she has talked about kind of, but not really in too much detail. But the way her family was talking about, like, oh, the last guy she brought home, like, we do not want that happening again. It was like, whoa, okay.
Right. It made me really interested in what happened.
Yeah.
And then it seemed like they were obviously, cautious about this experience. And I think they have every right to be. Like, I think it's a normal reaction to be like, what's going on here? And clearly they were very close with her ex and something happened and they don't want to get close again. And I think for this, out of all the hometowns, maybe this one, maybe that's where the flack is coming from, just because every hometown seemed to have gone so smoothly. So people are like, okay, we need to find the one that we think didn't go.
One,
but I thought it went
pretty smoothly.
I thought it went pretty smoothly as well.
Like, there was no, even the conversations were light, and when it did get a little bit serious, it didn't get any more serious than like past seasons or past it wasn't like, whoa, that was intense.
Right, like, oh, calm down.
Yeah. Like, it was, I felt extremely normal. So
yeah, I agree.
And then Maria, everybody was nervous. Everybody's talking about Maria's dad. Maria's dad's a friggin' sweetheart,
Yeah, he's got this tough exterior. He just loves his little baby.
Yep.
Loves his little angel.
Yep.
And I think where the disconnect between Joey and Maria happened was that the last episode, she made Joey feel very uneasy. He mentioned that on their date, you scared me last episode. Then she mentioned she's never brought anybody home before. Then after she brought him home, she never said I love you. And she waited until that final rose ceremony moment to pull him aside and tell him that. And I think he had his mind made up. And although I think his connection with Maria was way stronger than some of the others, I'm glad he stuck to his guns there and said, you know what, I'm not letting this change my mind right now. Because he clearly, if he felt like him and Maria were the strongest, he would have kept her.
Yeah, I agree.
Clearly, he felt like his connection with somebody else there is stronger than that. And he was probably like, okay, I should send her home now.
And I think in the back of his mind, no matter how much, chemistry they have, I think he has gotten a lot more reassurance from some of the other girls.
Yeah.
And you can't help but compare that scenario. Like, maybe you're not comparing like the girls' like personalities per se, but you're probably comparing like, well, this one said they love me, this one didn't, and just like the progress of the relationship. And Maria has just kind of planted a few seeds of doubt of whether or not she's ready for this kind of commitment. It's the first guy she's ever brought home. The whole thing last week with like, I think I may need to leave, waiting for the last second to tell him how she really felt. And it just all added up to, I think, Joey thinking she probably wasn't fully ready for like an engagement at the end. is what I feel like it seemed like also.
I agree with that. And now people are starting the conversation about her becoming the Bachelorette. I think that'd be very entertaining.
Yeah, I think she's probably a lock.
I want her to be ready for that engagement and ready for that. But I think it would be very entertaining, more so than any of the other women. I think it would be a lock for her to just have a very entertaining season. I think everybody would watch that. I mean, clearly, the reaction to Maria is more so than any person I've seen in recent memory of this show. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Fantasy Suites. Obviously spicy. We got some spicy scenes coming up. And we'll see who gets sent home next in the final two.
Yep, exactly.
We're coming down on the wire.
Almost there. So yeah, Rachel, Kelsey A, and Daisy. Final 3 headed into Fantasy Suites.